Oh, sorry guys. Had to avoid the little plush brigade here. We have Superman and Batman and Dracula here. Anyway, they're here because it's time once again for that show, live on tape from an undisclosed location, somewhere deep in the heart of downtown St. John's, Newfoundland. It's time for In the Library of Graphic Literature with your host, me, Wallace Ryan. Whew, actually it's quite warm here today. It was for those of you who are familiar with Celsius, it started around 14 degrees, went out, but by the time I headed back to the studio here, it was like 20 degrees, probably even a little bit more. So, no big news that I can think of this week. Yeah, nothing that I can think of right off the bat, so I think I'm going to jump right into the books here. Oh, what a day, what a day. So, actually this is still kind of hot here. A little bit of Irish breakfast tea this time. So, it's, like I say, nice sunny day here, way out on the Atlantic. It's time for us to start poking through some books here. Now, this is a book I actually started reading today because I figured I'd get a jump on it, and I read a good bit of it. But it is Tonta from Jaime Hernandez from Fantagraphics books. Of course, I love anything that Jaime does, and I found recently, I love the Love Bunglers, and this one, even just reading it now, it's just, it's like Jaime crossed a barrier a few years ago, and I think in some ways he's putting out some of his best work ever. Not to say that I don't love all his other works, because I do. As a matter of fact, look, there's a good spin of the rack for Jaime. But he's getting better with age. So any of you who haven't had the delight of checking out some Love and Rockets, give it a shot. It's comics probably unlike you've ever experienced. I know I started reading it in the 1980s when it first came out, and I had to have every single issue. As a matter of fact, when I saw my collection years later, my comic collection, the Love and Rockets were one of the few that I actually kept, that along with some of my heavy metals. All the rest went, unfortunately. But yeah, highly recommend it. So run out there and buy it. So worthwhile. Oh, time for another. And what wouldn't be a week without books, if not for a book from the Library of American Comics. Woo! And this one, of course, volume 26 of The Complete Dick Tracy. How complete can he get? Okay. So we're into the 70s now. Oh, good old Dick. So, and of course I love, up to 72. As I've told you folks many a time, I absolutely love Dick Tracy. There's just something kind of cool about him. I don't know what it is. Something about the drawing style just attracts me. I'm assuming there's probably only a few of these left, if they're only just going to do the Chester Gould ones, which I don't know if that's the case. But yeah, like I say, there's just something about Gould. I love his heavy use of blacks and his grotesque villains. Even the people that seem a little bit on edge. He's sort of like a mixture between Dick Sprang and Steve Ditko. That's about the best I can say about Gould, besides the fact that I love him. But yeah, now there's some people who think a lot of the earlier Dick Tracy is the best and all that. You know, in some ways, there's some truth to that, but even in his later years, he's still did some pretty wild stuff, right? Wild enough that makes it worth checking out, actually. Now, let's have another sip of this dangerously hot mug. Owie, owie, owie. It, I lost I didn't lose the rubber band, the big band that goes across the middle of that. Cracked, but I'm sure some of you think that, well, it's probably time I get a new mug. And as soon as I can find a good mug, I probably will. If any of you have a nice mug that's good for tea, feel free to send it to me. Now, let's unwrap this other book here. I was dying actually all last night to unwrap this before the show, but I held off. Anyway, this is one of my more favorite newer comics out there. This is, wait a second, let's get rid of that rabbit. Volume 3 of Harrow County. Ooh, welcome to Harrow County. This, Harrow County, this contains volumes 5 and 6. There's one more to come after this. It's Eisner nominated series, and for good reason. This is from Cullen Bunn Tyler Crook, and I love this series. This, along with Black Mask, I think are two of my more recent books that have come out that I absolutely love. But I like I hear that cracking as it opens there. I love the watercolor feel to his artwork. There's something definitely alive, but these characters it's just so strange and, like I say, so imaginative. Oh, love the little extras here. I absolutely love it. Like I say, there's certain books that go above and beyond, and this is definitely one of them. Harrow County, like, I remember I've seen online several times people talking about, well, you know, they don't make comics like they used to anymore, and all that kind of jazz and all that, but I think they do. And it's just a matter of wading through everything to get to the good stuff. And usually to do that, you gotta pay through the nose. But hey, that's the price of quality these days. Anyway, this is one I couldn't resist opening there last night. Oh, this has to be one of the heaviest books in a while. This is the Bronze Age Omnibus by Jack Kirby. So this basically holds everything outside of the Fourth World and Commandy. As it says on the cover here, everything from Losers in the Days of the Mob, Atlas from the first issue special, Spirit World, Sandman, Omac, Demon, Cobra, which is good because I don't think I had the Cobra stories. Losers, Manhunter, of course. Losers, it's one of the most underrated series. And same with Omac too. I always loved Omac. But yeah, now this also has the Superpowers series in them, which, you know, it's okay. It's Kirby and all that, but it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like watered down Kirby without him at the helm. But I mean, all the rest of this book is, to me, is like gold. I liked his Cobra actually, and even though he didn't write it. And then there's the Richard Dragon, which I can't remember if he wrote the Richard Dragon or not. No, Denny O'Neil. Anyway, the Manhunter one. The Manhunter and the Atlas were two of my favorite actually from that. But yeah, the Losers too, one of the most underrated of all of Kirby's works. Because I mean, the man was there, so I mean, you know, there's where you're getting some real life experience. Omac, once again, like I say, definitely one of his great DC titles. Sandman, just him and Simon back together again. But yeah, and Demon, of course. Demon is also one of my favorite of his 70s, along with in the Days of the Mob. Now, as you can tell, just from the way I'm straining this thing, actually does weigh a significant amount. So if you're going to be sitting down to read it, sit down for a while and have a cushion in your lap. Anyway, there you go. But it's a good dose of Kirby, and there's nothing wrong. There's never anything wrong with a book of Kirby material, even if it's a repackaging. But yeah. But yes, check it out, the Bronze Age, and also too. Oh, it just looks so good when it's put up next to the Fourth World and the Commandy omnibuses. Oh, hang on a second. Lifted all those books. It's hard. Anyway, let's move on here to. Jeez, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Jeez, 5 books this week. This is not bad. Next week is going to be a bit of a slow week, so I'm going to see if I can come up with a topic to cover to fill the dead air that would be there otherwise. I mean, I could just take me sitting here, but you know, who would like that? Even I wouldn't like that. So anyway, the very last one for today. Conan Volume 2. Actually, I should be kissing that one too, and that one. Actually, yeah. Blow kisses to them all. That's right, Wallace. Throw kisses to all of them. Ooh, everyone's a winner. Way to go. Oh, shut up, you. I want to suck your blood. Anyway, back to the unwrapping here. Conan the Barbarian Omnibus Volume 2. So we leave the salad days of good old Barry Windsor Smith, and we launch full and headlong into the heady days of John Buscema. I think Ernie Chan did a lot of these, and Gil Kane. I do believe there's even a Neal Adams story in here. Let's check and see. Come on. Don't be shy. Okay, with Gil Kane, with Neal Adams, Rich Buckler, Tim Conrad. Yes, inkers, Ernie Chan, Neal Adams, 37, which is the same. Okay, I can see. Yeah, that was the one he did. John Buscema, inker, Krusty Bunkers, inking, Gordana, Sutton. Anyway, so for the most part, it's basically Buscema and Kane with shots by Buckler and Adams and Tim Conrad. So, yeah, all in all, not a bad volume. Of course, I've been a fan of Conan since the 70s myself too. Let me get this up closer to you to see. Of course, when I started reading it, I actually started reading it around this time. Yeah, it was around this time that I actually started reading it, and I loved it, especially the Savage Sword of Conan. Love the Savage Sword of Conan, and of course I'm collecting those omnibuses too. But I actually went out and I took the time and I read the original novels, and I actually read all the Robert E. Howard I could get my hands on. A lot of this early stuff is Buscema stuff is inked by Ernie Chan, or Ernie Chua as he was known. It's pretty cool stuff. But yeah, there's just something about sword and sorcery that appealed to me. I don't know. Oh, here we go. Neal Adams artist. This is the one with the cover from the cover there. Beautifully drawn, of course, because it's Neal Adams, and written by our good friend Roy Thomas. But yeah, this is one of the classics. I can remember when I got hold of this because I was a Neal Adams fan anyway, and then when it was just like, oh my God, Neal Adams doing Conan the Barbarian, had to have it. And this is Buscema by himself. Buscema by himself it's a very different type of Buscema. He inked himself very differently from the way Palmer and all the others who had sort of a gloss to him. He had sort of a bit of a more of a rough edge. Now this obviously is early Chua again. It's funny that some of them I can tell a mile away. But ooh, check that out. Now, like I say, between Buscema and Smith, even though I like Buscema's, ooh look, some more Gil Kane work. This was from the annuals of all of which I collected. And then I don't know why they got the Savage Sword stories put in with it. But yeah, between Buscema and Smith, my favorite would have to be Smith. Even though, like I say, I love Buscema. I love Buscema actually mainly for his comic book work, and especially his 60s stuff, especially with the Avengers. Fabulous stuff. And now I still, like I say, still did like him on Conan, who I think he was a good choice. Although Gil Kane too, I think did some great Conan, and he would have been a good replacement, I think, for Barry Windsor Smith. But you know, still, like I say, above all, some good sword and sorcery there. Now, anyways, I'm still in the middle of some reading here too, and actually, coming up, the last Eerie Archives is coming up now in a couple of months, and I vowed that as soon as that comes out, I'm going on a reading spree, and I'll check in with you folks and tell you about it, because as I was collecting them, about halfway through them, I decided, well, I think I'll take a break and wait until I get all of these books, then I'll sit down and read them all in one good big binge read. So I did. So I got, like I say, about 20-something books of eerie and creepy to sit down and read once I get that last eerie book, and I'll feature, if I come across any stories in particular as I'm going through them each week, I'll share them with you. It's gonna be like sort of a personal journey through one of my all-time favorite comic magazines, and I thought it'd be a cool thing to share with you fine folks out there in comic book land. Anyways, that's about it for this week. Too bad, like I say, next week is going to be a little bit shorter than usual, but I'll find something to yap about you. You folks know me. All I gotta do is turn on the camera and yap. Yeah, I was shutting off with the yapping. Okay. Anyways, everyone out there, have a great weekend. I know it's very hot in parts of North America and Europe, and actually it just started to get hot here today for the first time really this summer. It's been a bit of a cold summer out here, so I think I'll get out and enjoy some of that heat. Anyways, loves you all, and happy reading. Oh, I didn't go for the shave either too, because I'm thinking about growing a beard. Oh my God, oh, it's the pull with that boom tube. Okay folks, bye.